Okay, Shelby, you got your work up here. Looks like I don't have a PDF here, so we're gonna have to look at it like this. I won't be able to zoom in or anything. That looks like that's your cover. Let's talk about this real quick. I just don't think the color is working. Again, you went from blue to green, which is a cool color, to even a cooler color. So you really are on a cool end of the spectrum here. And I think when people think malaria, they think hot, sweaty, kind of mosquito-y weather. And I just don't see that being portrayed here. So I know you have the leaves for the jungle in the background, but it's just not working. The color's not working. It's too cool. Also, you're not really permitted to use an image on the front of the poster. I think I mentioned that in the last. The only image that's allowed is this one right here. So you can't even use these background images here. I wouldn't. I think it's a couple of things are going on. It's just so distracting that it's all of these little kind of marks here are interfering with the ascenders, descenders, and the strokes for your type. So it's really a difficult read, and I think the layout itself is pretty good. I do. I think the layout's just fine. Typographically, I think you're looking pretty good here. I'm not sure about the color. Let's jump over to the back, and I think we have this really super impersonal layout, and a lot of it has to do with the coolness of the color. They're extremely cold green on a very cool end of the color spectrum, in conjunction with a very impersonal black and white photo. I wonder if you could get more of a color portrait photo of her, just to make it a little bit more personal. Right now, it's just there's no contact with the viewer. She's in her lab coat. She's in the lab. She is not even aware that her image is being taken. So there's just no personal connection with this laureate in the back of the poster. A couple of other things. I think the Y for her name it's an okay idea, but the thing is it's not working. Why? Because this Y hasn't been used. We haven't seen it anywhere before. So therefore, it's not a continuation. So you can't say, oh, that's the Y from the front. That's kind of cool. It really doesn't work like that. Right now, I look at these, and for a while, I just had question marks. And what are those? The next thing I think is your type. I think that your type, instead of trying to go just these two columns, I think your character count might be even a little long in the two columns. So you may want to reconsider this format for maybe a 3-column. This is 17 inches wide and 11 by 17. So this type here is going to be pretty big. I'll bet you're pushing 16 on this. I would really reduce that back. Get rid of the image on the background because it's interfering. It's making the type really difficult to read. So I would just go with the color on the background. The other thing is that I can't tell if you're using word wrap here or not. I don't think you are. I think somehow you have just forced this image in here, and I'm not sure how this works. But if this would be a 2-column grid, okay, that would be a straight left margin, right? Just like that. So if you were to place this image in here with a word wrap, you would have a straight curve right here. You wouldn't have these indents and these outdents. You wouldn't have those. It would be perfectly straight. I think another student used a word wrap. I don't know where. Here it is right here. See that? See that line right there? That's what a word wrap is going to look like on the straight left margin. Okay. Now the problem with word wrap is that, with a rag right, word wrap doesn't work on the right margin of text. Okay, it works perfectly on the left, as we can see, but not on the right. So that's another story. Right now, I'm not seeing word wrap because it's not working here. And of course, it wouldn't work there if you have rags. But this also indicates that you have a justified type because of this clean right margin here. So if this is justified type, that would be a justified type. So right now, it looks like you have this is left aligned, rag right. This is right aligned, rag left. So what I would do is I would just take 2 justified type columns, and word wrap the image. That way you'll have a really clean word wrap around the type on the left and right hand side. Okay. Finally, I think honestly, I just think that there's just no use of negative space at all. So it's not a very inviting composition because the viewer goes immediately. You know how we are. We're humans. We're lazy. We look at it and we go, oh God, I'm going to read all that. And that's the beauty of white space. That's where white space fits in. So now I'm going to show you some nice white space over here. See the nice, beautiful white space over here, and the nice space between, and the space. You see, so, and then right here, we just kind of have everything jammed in and pushed to all four corners. Okay, and I'm not making comparisons at all here, Shelby. I'm just showing you one of your classmates' uh, um, use of negative space and white space. So, so that would be my recommendations. If you have any questions at all, or if anything I said doesn't make sense and need to be clarified, please feel free to let me know, and I'll be glad to do so. Okay, thanks, Shelby.